Hi guys, Rap Critic here, and by the powers of naughtiness, I declare this particular music video to be really, really hard. Well, like I was saying, Rap Critic here, and you know we had to talk about this one. Cause wouldn't you know it, your girl Megan Thee Stallion just went 2 for 2 in terms of having songs of the summer for the ladies, going from her Hot Girl Summer smash hit last year to capping off this one with W.A.P being a #1 record, in conjunction with it being Cardi B's 3rd Billboard topper. So just on numbers alone, this song's existence is a pretty big damn deal. However, with that success has invariably come with it a conversation about whether the goofy sex jam is properly empowering to women, an argument that seems to be mainly spearheaded by conservatives popping their monocles over female pop stars being overtly sexual like, they always are. But there's also been a lot of black people who voice concern that videos like this exploit or undercut the dignity of black women. And if you're genuinely interested in hearing a level-headed look at it from a black woman's perspective, I definitely urge you to check out the YouTube channel For Harriet, where she just recently uploaded an excellent video deconstructing the whole conversation. She goes in depth in a more nuanced way about it, so definitely give her video a listen, but the gist of her video is essentially, in a vacuum, there's nothing wrong with. The problem is when all black women are allowed to be is. Now, go to her channel if you want that in-depth analysis of pop culture from an intersectional perspective. But if you just want to know if the Potty Mouth song is worthy of being added to your Sex Dungeon playlist, oh, stick around. Because, alright, fine, sex sells and all that adbuster stuff, but as long as we're not talking to evangelical moms against rock from the 80s, I think we can all be clear-headed enough to collectively agree that the use of sex in and of itself isn't bad, it's about the context. And besides, what the fuck, who's listening to music to find examples of upstanding members of society? You listen to the shit because it's a fucking mood. I mean, sure, there's definitely a discussion to be had about exploitation of women, again, see the For Harriet link, but just as a consumer of music that I want to care about, context for me is just about not being boring. I mean, that makes sense, right? So if I'm gonna listen to raunchy music, I want Rocky Horror levels of debauchery, not just one of those half-ass 50 Shades of Grey movies that skimps on the nasty. I say, if you're gonna make a sex jam, make it depraved and filthy enough that it sticks out amongst the millions of interchangeable strip club anthems that come out every day that are mostly boring and generic. And with that said, I must inform you, dear friends, what we have here today is no generic rap song. Oh, this song gets specific.
I wanna ride, I do a giggle, rollins inside.
Very specific.
Gobble me, swallow me, drip down inside of me, quick jump out for you, let it get inside of me.
Very specific.
I wanna joke, I want you to touch that little dangly thing that's swinging the back of my throat.
Miss Cardi, I do believe I've caught the vapors. As well, the beat work just has this undeniable punchy knock to it, capped off with the infamous sample, which was taken from an early 90s Baltimore club staple of the same name.
There's some hoes in this house, there's some hoes in this house, there's some hoes.
The idea for which came to the original beatmakers Al T. McLaren and Frank Ski as a cheeky riff on the chants of Black Greek fraternities. However, the inspiration for the specific cadence came from another 90s club jam they caught wind of that sampled a clip of an old horror-themed R&B song called Ghosts. So, marrying the two concepts as a joke, McLaren recorded his vocals to sound like that song, but have it be about hot chicks instead. The silliness of the repeated phrase punctuated by the timbre of the serious drill sergeant-like voice he had been known for during his time in the military. And man, is it used to great effect here. Almost as if the reserved army of hoes are being rallied to answer the call of booty. I'm sorry, I know that was bad. I couldn't help it. The pun was just right there. Even so, the sample and the beatwork meld to set up the perfect atmosphere for the ladies to submerge us in some of the nastiest sex raps this side of an Akinyele song.
I don't wanna spit, I wanna go, I wanna gag, spit in my mouth, look in my eyes, this pussy is wet, come take a dive.
Like, yeah, I get how this might be a bit much for some people. But hell, what are these types of people doing watching this anyways? It's not like you can't avoid it, it's on the internet. You'd literally have to search for it to see what it is. Honestly, how'd they get far enough to even get offended? Was the twirling naked statues with water shooting out of their tits not enough to warn you what type of song this was gonna be? It's not getting played on the radio, is it? God forbid, what would even be the point?
I don't wanna I wanna I wanna
I can't tell what the difference was supposed to be between any of those things. Although for the edited version of the hook, it's one of those instances where the edited line actually makes things worse.
Pay my tuition just to kiss me on this wet and gushy.
Gushy? How's that the radio version? It's even more explicitly descriptive. Now, okay, to throw the critics a bone, in some capacity, I get how there may be concerns that female sexuality expressed this way can only be titillating for men and paints women as materialistic. Honestly, it's a pretty slippery task in general to subjectively try to measure things in terms of how empowering they are for women, especially in terms of hip-hop since it's such a currently male-focused landscape anyways. But I think I figured out a metric, and hear me out. Because let's speak to the issue in this context. Women have had to deal with listening to men rap all day about the perfect girls they want without caring how it makes women feel awkward or insecure, right? Well shit, maybe they should just be measured by how insecure they make men feel. I defy you to find another mainstream chart topper in this day and age that's really laid out the qualities two sexually liberated women want in a man in such, for lack of a better word, uncompromising terms.
Not a garden snake, I need a king cobra with a hook in it, hope it lean over.
I mean, I'm sure that lyric's got a lot of guys feeling pretty inadequate right about now.
Ask for a call while you ride that dick.
And shit, she's normalizing to our audience the idea that you should exclusively have sex with the kind of guys with the monetary capacity to buy you a whole-ass automobile on a whim, which is, most certainly outside of my tax bracket. So yeah, no, this stuff is definitely cutting pretty deep.
Beat in the food chain, I'm the one that eat you. If he ate my eye, he's a bottom feeder.
Well, I don't think it's much of a stretch to say if a girl's telling you to put your tongue in her chocolate starfish, it is undoubtedly mostly for her benefit and satisfaction. But hey, there are guys out there that are like, why did the music stop? Is there some significance to this person? Could this not have happened while the music was playing? Who is this? Why does she particularly matter? Is she gonna do something special? Oh, hey, isn't that Kendall Jenner? The woman we're all supposed to cheer on for being a total #girl boss, even though her family name guaranteed her billions of dollars before she literally ever lifted a finger? Well, what's she cutting in here for? Although I do appreciate the time to rip on a random celebrity here, because honestly, this is one of those positive review episodes where there's not really much to say beyond, yes, this did a good job of being sufficiently sexy. I mean, I guess I could point out my personal preference, in that while I think they both definitely hold their own, Cardi really stands out for me on vocals alone with how her smoky growl of a delivery brings a deeper impact to the imagery of her lyrics.
Beat it up, baby, catch a charge. Extra large and extra hard. Put this cookie right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card.
Of course, they're not very subtle about how their relationships are pretty strictly based in a cash for sex transaction.
He got some money, then that's where I'm headed. Cookie A1, just like his credit.
Although they oddly do make it clear that all these acts are happening within a committed relationship.
I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you, I got this ring.
So in that vein, what are conservatives so mad about then? They had an arbitrary party at a church and exchanged metal rings. What's the problem? I mean, sure, this relationship is strictly motivated by an exchange of sex for expensive cars and diamonds, but what, are conservatives mad these women are clearly marrying for money and not for love? Sounds pretty traditional to me. And besides, let them tell it, he definitely was intending on giving up the ring before the sex happened.
Like, you really ain't never got him for a thing. He already made his mind up before he came.
Well, before the sex was finished, at the very least. I think I'm understanding this double entendre correctly. Overall, I gotta give this one a glittering 5 out of 5. This shit is a banger. It gets in, gives you a smorgasbord of nasty lyrics, and gets out. There's barely even a hook in the song, and yet it still kept people's attention from just how raw and descriptive each verse is. Plus, I'd say the song served a public good, as it gave us a glorious contribution to the culture. A new word for female masturbation.
I'm talking wop, 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 that's some wet ass pussy. Macaroni in a pot, that's some wet ass pussy.
Oh my god, wow, I forgot about that lyric till just now. That really brings it all together, doesn't it? So in addition to ushering a new word into the American lexicon that immediately brings to mind the action it describes, they then tie it all together by making a sound comparison for how stirring a pot of macaroni sounds a lot like when you really, W'd up the P. And I'd even go out on a limb and say that this song is especially important, particularly for people out there who, maybe didn't even know the P even got W in the first place, you know what I mean? I mean, it sounds crazy to believe, but, some of those men have been married to women for years and happen to be named Ben Shapiro. Okay, I can't hold it any longer. I gotta talk about this real quick. Oh my god, so there's this political YouTube douche who tried to do a takedown of the W.A.P song, right? And in the middle of his little review, he thought he'd bring up a little bit of science, to make your girl Cardi look foolish. So he's all like, I talked to my wife and she's a doctor and she said vaginas aren't even supposed to have any liquid discharge. So if they do, well, that's like a serious medical condition. And it's like, oh no, bro, you just confessed that you've been married to a woman for years and didn't know vaginas were capable of responding to pleasure. Oh no, it's both sad and hilarious. Like, you're sitting here reprimanding her for being sexual in the wrong way, and it's like, bro, you didn't even know pussies got wet, son, shut the fuck up. So yeah, if anything, Megan and Cardi are clearly providing a service by making a song as educational as this one might say. Man, we really need more comprehensive sex ed in this country, because only in America could you try to diss a bop song, but backfire at it so badly you accidentally expose that you've never sexually aroused your wife. What a fucking idiot. Well, that's the episode. God damn it, this man is so stupid. Leave a like if you like because it helps, comment if you have something to say because it helps even more, and hit the subscribe button and the bell because it helps the most. And if you want to get my merch, follow me on social media, listen to my podcast, or support the show, all those links are in the link tree below. So check all that fun stuff out, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.